A flooded road is supposed to be the end of the line. Engine stall. Electronics short. The rules are simple. Water wins. But in a series of videos coming out of China, one vehicle doesn't do what vehicles usually do. It rises. Not figuratively, physically. Its suspension lifts, the cabin seals, and the SUV floats. It's the kind of clip that looks like a special effect until you notice the details, the stance of the chassis, the steady buoyancy, the way it moves, slowly like it's following a pre-written emergency script. And that's the question that hangs over all of this. Are we watching the future of transportation or the most convincing performance of it? Tonight we're opening case files on floating SUVs, autonomous air taxis accused of fraud, and the quiet race between superpowers to control how you'll commute in 2035. We're separating what's engineered from what's demonstrated from what's still just promise. There's a temptation to treat these machines as internet curiosities, but taken together, they form a pattern. China's transportation sector pushes hard on electric powertrains, automation, and rapid infrastructure scaling ideas quickly and putting them into real-world demonstrations. The United States bets on high-performance EV technology, autonomous software, and aerospace-grade propulsion moving slower, but targeting refinement and long-term dominance. Europe, often overlooked quietly, advances electric aviation, autonomous ferries, and sustainable transit. This isn't innovation for its own sake. It's leverage, economic, industrial, and psychological, because whoever defines the next transportation standard doesn't just sell vehicles. They shape cities. They shape supply chains. They shape how the world moves. The Baidi Yangwang Yuedan all-electric super SUV has been presented as the world's first SUV with emergency floating capability. According to Baidi specifications, if the vehicle detects flooding, it triggers emergency mode, shuts off power, seals windows, activates air conditioning, opens the sunroof, and maintains buoyancy for up to 30 minutes. Not for recreation, for escape. The investigation angle, the marketing materials warn that using floating mode for fun is discouraged and requires a mandatory service check afterward. That's liability management, edge case engineering, real disaster preparedness. Context matters here. In July 2021, flooding in Zhengzhou, China killed over 300 people, many trapped in vehicles. According to industry reporting, BYD accelerated development of water crossing features afterward. The mystery isn't whether it looks impressive. The mystery is what it implies. Automakers are designing vehicles not just for roads, but for the failure of roads. Passenger drones have been promised for years. Two companies have pushed furthest in their approaches, reveal the strategic divide at the heart of this competition. EHang 216 sets. China. EHang's 216 sets offers 2 passengers, fully autonomous flight control, and 16 electric rotors. No pilot, no manual controls. You get in, and the system flies you. The investigation angle. In 2020, short seller Wolfpack Research alleged EHang fabricated revenue and exaggerated technology. Stock dropped 60%. The company denied allegations. No regulatory action followed, but the shadow lingered. Since then, EHang received China's first EVTOL type certificate. The company claims over 40,000 test flights, though independent verification is limited. The truth? Probably somewhere in between. A real technology platform, aggressive marketing, and a regulatory environment moving faster in China than anywhere else. Joby Aviation's 4, United States. If China bets on autonomy, the U.S. bets on a different equation. Joby's S4 seats 4 passengers plus a pilot, uses 6 tilting electric rotors, claims a 150-mile range and 200 miles per hour speeds. In 2024, Joby received a Part 135 air carrier certificate from the FAA, the first for an eVTOL company. The contrast. China's EHang emphasizes autonomy and fast certification. America's Joby emphasizes piloted flight and conservative regulation. Neither is obviously right. Both are bets on what the public will trust first. Because engineering is only half the battle. Airspace is a legal structure. Cities are risk structures. Public trust is a psychological structure. These machines don't just need batteries and rotors, they need permission. The most convincing innovations aren't the flashiest. They're the ones that still matter when the camera leaves. Rosenbauer RT Electric Fire Truck, This isn't a concept, it's an act of service. The Rosenbauer RT is a hybrid fire engine designed to operate on electric power at emergency sites, reducing noise and exhaust in urban environments. Fire departments in Los Angeles, Amsterdam, and Dubai have deployed it. Why it matters. Emergency response is one of the hardest electrification use cases. Unpredictable cycles, extreme power demands, zero tolerance for downtime. If electric drivetrains work here, objections for ordinary fleets become harder to sustain. From Stockholm, not China, not the US. The Candela P12 is a hydrofoil ferry that lifts above water on electric-powered foils, reducing drag by 80% and enabling 30-knot speeds with minimal wake. Stockholm's public transit began operating the P12 in 2024. The real innovation? Noise. Traditional ferries generate significant sound pollution. The P12 operates at conversation-level volume. For cities built around water, this changes which routes become viable. The through line, a fire truck in Los Angeles, a ferry in Stockholm, an air taxi in Shenzhen. These aren't disconnected experiments. They're pieces of a global rewiring of how things move. The race between China and the United States isn't a single competition. It's multiple races rewarding different things. On EV manufacturing, China optimizes for scale and affordability. BYD produces millions of vehicles at price points American manufacturers haven't matched. The US, led by Tesla, focuses on premium performance and software integration. On autonomous vehicles, China's Baidu Apollo deploys robotaxis with aggressive timelines. America's Waymo has logged over 20 million autonomous miles and operates fully driverless taxis in San Francisco, Phoenix, and Los Angeles. On eVTOLs, China bets on autonomy and fast certification. The US bets on piloted aircraft and rigorous FAA processes. Europe's Lilium and Volocopter offer alternative models. On infrastructure, China's state-backed investment in charging networks and rail dwarfs America's fragmented, market-driven approach. The meta pattern. China optimizes for speed of deployment. The US optimizes for performance ceiling and regulatory defensibility. Europe optimizes for integration with existing transit and safety standards. All three have vulnerabilities. China's speed can mask reliability issues. America's caution can cede first-mover advantage. Europe's deliberation can miss the market entirely. Here's what rarely makes headlines. Whichever system becomes normal first exports, not just vehicles, but standards. Charging designs. Battery formats. Airspace protocols. The country that defines the default doesn't just win market share. It writes the rules everyone else follows. Before we close, we need to address what these case files don't show. The labor question. Every autonomous vehicle represents a job that may not exist in 20 years. Truck drivers, taxi drivers, delivery couriers, pilots. Efficiency gains are real. Displacement is also real. The environmental question, electrification, is framed as clean. But batteries require lithium, cobalt, nickel materials with mining costs. The electricity charging these vehicles often comes from fossil fuel grids. The full picture is more complicated than marketing suggests. The dependency question. Highly automated vehicles require chips, software, and network infrastructure. Those supply chains are concentrated and represent new vulnerabilities. These aren't reasons to reject the technology. They're reasons to evaluate it with open eyes. So are these inventions proof that the future has arrived? Not exactly. Some of what we've covered is already operating in limited environments. Some exist as prototypes, with impressive demonstrations but no clear path to scale. And some is suspended between engineering and storytelling, where coming soon, and not actually viable, remain deliberately blurred. But the signal is hard to ignore. Transportation is being redesigned around three principles. 1. Electrification. Quieter drivetrains with new packaging freedom and new supply chain dependencies. 2. Automation. Systems reducing human workload and raising questions about safety, liability, and employment. The right is the SUV isn't just a cool trick. It's a symbol of point of your trick. It wants it out. It's one jod.